But even you look back at Hollywood back then or anything, people dressed better. They seemed like they took more pride in themselves. You ever seen like sporting events here in Australia, like say back in the 60s and 70s, and you see the crowd, women have nice dresses on, the men are there all dressed in suits and or even like pants and a nice top. Now you just have bogans in shorts and singlets, no shirts on. Yeah, so it's different how society's changed.
So I've got one from Carolina Sky McLean.
A girl, a woman.
What actors from back in the day did Lee think had the best physique? Obviously Arnold, but...
Arnold, Stallone.
Yep.
But even back in the day, Clint Eastwood used to train a bit. He was pretty good.
Yep.
Charles Bronson. He was pretty muscular back in the day. Even Kirk Douglas back in the day.
Yeah.
He had a good physique, Kirk Douglas. Oh, if you go back even further... Was it Johnny Weissmuller who played Tarzan?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Dave Draper.
Yeah, Draper. Steve Reeves back in the Hercules.
Yes.
And Frignadan, if we go back to the Hercules movies. Who else was pretty... Actually, I saw a couple early shows. He had OK Arms and that back in the day. Was a different actor. Who was the one from The King and I? Yul Brynner.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah,
he was. They were in the. Actually, a lot of them were actually in the fitness back then, keeping healthy. A lot of those actors. I can't remember their names, but even some of the guys. Well, Carl Weathers.
Yes, that's
from
a
the
good
Rocky.
one. Yep.
Dolph Lundgren.
Yep.
Any of those. Mr. T.
Yep.
Who else did we have back then? Because I think it seemed like more actors back then. Oh, you don't want to say manly men, but they pretty much were, weren't they? Because if you look at them back then compared to someone like Patterson from Twilight, and Tom, I like Tom Cruise movies, but he's not really a menacing figure, is he? So,
well,
yeah, depends
when
if he's
the
got the
lights
strap
are
on. He's very dangerous. It's like, holy shit! He's only 5'3", but look at the shalong. But I was just trying to think of some old movies that I've watched. Yeah, Clint Eastwood, but even like I said, even that Bill Smith, William Smith, who played Conan's dad, and he was in Any Which Way But Loose, or that. Like I said, he used to come to World Gym all the time, and he was always drinking before you could smell it on him. There you go on, Lee. Great guy, funny guy. He'd always be flexing his arms, and he was still pretty solid at his age before he passed away. But yeah, I'd say there was quite a few back then even.
But don't you miss...
But even, what's his name when you think of it, from Staying Alive, and John Travolta was in pretty good shape. So yeah, I think it seemed to be more, even though you got that new guy, who's the new guy, Reichman from the Preacher TV show. He's a pretty big guy. So you do have a few that are into it now, but I think back then, I don't know whether you could even say fucking there's more shit food around now and people eat more shit food, but it seemed more people were into their health. But even you look back at Hollywood back then or anything, people dressed better. They seemed like they took more pride in themselves. You ever seen like sporting events here in Australia, like say back in the 60s and 70s, and you see the crowd, women have nice dresses on, the men are there all dressed in suits and or even like pants and a nice top. Now you just have bogans in shorts and singlets, no shirts on. Yeah, so it's different how society's changed, isn't it? Where even like I remember seeing, I follow a page called Australia Now and Then, and one like Newcastle similar, and it'll just show like an old shopping centre, and everyone in the shopping centre is like so well dressed. The kids, the mothers, the fathers. Then it shows a shopping centre now, no shoes, no shirts, girls wearing shorts with their ass hanging out. I'm like, what happened?
What
it's
went
like,
wrong?
Where did society just like... I'm sure some people still respect themselves, but could you imagine going out dressed back then in like the little shorts and bra tops girls wear to the gym now? Back then, you'd be like, oh, she must be a whore, hooker, which they would be correct.
Yeah.